That guy girl that had their life ruined in high school, what's happened to them since? A friend was with her boyfriend winter time in a car. He died from carbon monoxide poisoning. She survived. Impacted her through school. Upon graduation, she moved to California. She was on a motorcycle with her new boyfriend during a road accident. He died. She suffered severe body burns from the accident fire. Her face was disfigured as a result, requiring many years of facial surgery. Later years we worked together. Her positive attitude was astounding, considering what she went through. The guy who jumped off the cliff into a lake and broke his neck when he hit a rock under the water was paralyzed for several years before he either died or somehow committed suicide. Straight-A honor student got caught up in drugs. I think she ended up in rehab multiple times, and our whole town thought it was a shame because she could have gone to Harvard or something. But now she's sober, got a real estate license, and she's doing really well. There's always hope. Shortly after 9/11, dude and his friend called in a bomb threat to the high school before school started. They traced the phone call to the payphone down the street. Got him on camera. They arrested and expelled both of them from school. It would happen to his friend, but his father and him started a tech security company roughly 10 years later, and he's running it today. Dude wound up in a cult. After high school, dude moved into a tent in the city park. Went jogging one day and got invited to a party at some place that turned out to be a cult. A big-ass compound in some shithole town, with a bunch of alpacas running around. Dude moved into the compound, got into drugs, and ended up fathering a bunch of kids. 5 years later, dude left the cult, moved back into the tent, and went silent. Bam. Quit talking to everyone just like that. I see the dude around town sometimes, but he isn't the same. I'll catch him slinking through alleys, peering around corners, all paranoid and shit. Dude's always wearing the same hoodie pulled all tight around his head. Even wears the thing in 90-degree heat in the dead of July. Whenever he sees me, his eyes bug out and he takes off running. Wild shit. Dude was top-tier athlete and top 25 student. I remember being hyper jealous of him. He had the soccer skills I wanted, dated the girl I liked, all of it. Then he started drugs and dealing his junior year. He ended up dropping out 3 months from graduating and going to jail a few weeks later. In the 20 years since he's been in and out of jail, and his parents lost their house trying to get him out of jail and into rehab. It's wild. Meth is a hell of a drug. He had a mental breakdown and came into class naked and attacked the teacher and tried to assault some of the students, before he got jumped by all the students. He spent the rest of the school year in a private classroom. From what I hear, he was sent to a special home. Hi, I'm that guy. I was suspended for a year near the beginning of my junior year, charged with a felony, and eventually dropped out of high school at 17. I got my GED a couple months before I was supposed to graduate and then took a year off of school. I then went to trade school for welding, graduated, and got a full-time job. After a couple years of that, I was promoted to quality assurance. I am now 25, happily engaged, and I made $78,000 last year. I'm also attending college courses. My work is fronting a large majority of the bill and working towards a bachelor's in industrial engineering. He was literally captain of the football team. In early 2001, along with a small group of friends, he made a series of bomb threats to his high school and didn't get caught. On September 11, 2001, we all know what happened that day. He was inspired to call in another bomb threat. Unfortunately for him, because of the day's events, the feds intervened and caught him quickly. He caught 5 years. https://www.michiganthumb.com/news/article/teen-gets-prison-for-September-11-3-7317114.php He was released after 2 years, violated probation by committing a petty crime, but got out of the rest of his prison sentence, because he was under 18 on September 11, 2001, and the judge felt that the terms of his probation shouldn't apply. Fast forward 15 or so years later and this happened. https://www.newsherald.com/story/news/2020/grand-theft-case/17301590007/. So yeah, he's still a messed up dude, but I think he's out of prison for now. They lost in a game of Russian roulette and his friends were arrested for participating in the game. Nothing major, fake names. Jen dated Ryan, who's mixed, is relevant off and on for a year. They broke up, she still wanted him. Jen then dated Mike, Ryan's best friend. Ryan didn't care, they were both sleeping with her anyway. Newts got around. They're all on the baseball team, so they make jokes. Baby one came out white. Rumor mill says she was really upset it was Mike's child, not Ryan's. Pattern continues, she leaves Mike for Danny, Ryan's other best friend. Still sleeping with Ryan and Danny, rinse and repeat with baby too. Baby is white. They break up. We graduate. Jen dates Chris, Mike's older brother. Has 2 more kiddos with him. She's doing great, living the Midwest redneck life, but man, that drama was entertaining. Dude was the biggest drug dealer in the school, he didn't even try to hide it. Dealt at school for damn near an entire year, before the cops finally decided to make a spectacle of it and arrest him in the middle of lunch, head down on the lunch table and cuffed. He didn't return to school. Girl I know that didn't go to our school went on a date with him like 10ish years later. The dude still talked about how he was this huge drug dealer in HS. Last I heard he was managing a machine shop and doing decent, but never married or had kids. Guy I knew in high school got super into drugs. Good friend of mine was throwing a house party and he showed up coked out of his fucking gourd. Partway through the night he randomly went ballistic and started violently attacking people. Someone broke a bottle over his head and knocked him out. Couple guys were able to get him in a car and drove him home to his parents, explain everything that happened, and help them bring him to a hospital. We didn't see him for a little over a year after that. I don't know if something happened when the bottle was broken over his head, or it was all the drugs, or whatever happened during the year that he was gone, but I periodically saw him over the next few years and it was literally like he had a lobotomy. I would say hi to him, or other people would try to talk to him, and it was just like he wasn't there anymore. The lights were on but no one was really home. Even him just saying hi back, there was like a 2-minute delay. Last I heard he was still living with his parents. It sucked because he was never really a bad guy or anything. He's still sitting in prison for life. He killed a small child and buried it in a cemetery across from his house. My friend, at 14, got drunk, stole his dad's car and made it about 3 houses over before he crashed it. DUI at 14 made his vehicle insurance $1,000 a month when he turned 16. He went off the rails after the DUI too, was an alcoholic at 15, got into drugs, didn't graduate. Now he lives in Mexico and runs a successful business, wears suits to work, married a really amazing woman and has a pile of half ginger half Mexican children, probably one of the happiest guys I know. Dude ate a lot of mushrooms and had a complete mental breakdown. The trip never ended. He thought his girlfriend and mother were actors pretending to be them. He had to be institutionalized for something like a month. He is now a real estate agent. She lured the only black girl in our school into the forest with a group of her friends and they beat her for the color of her skin. She and the other girls were expelled immediately. Not sure if there was more legal action taken, but she was not allowed back on the premises ever again and was homeschooled because no other school would allow her to attend. A few years ago I saw on her Facebook that she married a black guy. I wonder if he knows. Dude stole his mom's car while coked up, ran a red and killed a mother delivering papers to make some extra cash before Christmas. He got booked for a DUI, vehicular manslaughter, and grand theft because his mom reported the car stolen before the accident. This guy was popular, so there were a lot of Free BT, his initials on Facebook and MSN. Total scumbag move to get behind a wheel in that state. A few years behind bars and he got out, did some more shady stuff, was in and out of jail on drug charges, grand theft under 1,000, stuff like that. Then he held up a grocery store with a knife, broad daylight, no mask or anything, just walked into a Foodland and held a cashier at knife point and demanded cash. He got caught pretty easily, did more time, and then unfortunately OD'd after getting out after the armed robbery. What a wild spiral from a pretty popular guy at school. Do high school teachers count? Mr. Huck was a basketball coach and raped boys for years before being caught. He did about 10 years in prison, was released and worked in a men's clothing store at the airport before dying of cancer. He's now spending eternity burning in the fiery depths of hell. I hated him with a passion in high school. My strongest memories of him are right up in the school newsletter about him that highlighted his love of conformity. Seriously, he stated that when he bought his car, he chose it because it was the one that stood out the least and had the least remarkable color. Brown, I believe. His car was so unremarkable that I can't remember what the make was. I witnessed him goading a young basketball player into calling the band kids fags when they were practicing. I reported this. Nothing happened. Those are my only remarkable memories of Mr. Huck, and you can read a lot into them.